Have you ever caught yourself doubting your gut feeling or calling yourself mean or silly when you really don't feel that way? That's not just in your head, it's your programming kicking in. From a young age, parents, teachers, even therapists, they'll tell us how we should be. We're rarely encouraged to question it or to trust our own voice. But what if the labels and rules that we've been given don't actually fit who we are? In this video, we're unpacking how to spot that programming and why it's so important to start questioning what you've been told. Hello everybody, I'm Catriona Morten. I'm a sensory-motor psychotherapist. And this is Vega Therapy, where you learn to calm your body, quieten your mind, and heal from within. So, let's get started. I wonder how many times you've had a very strong reaction to something and then overridden it, talked yourself out of it, and only to be proved right in the first place. Why didn't I pay attention? I had a feeling, I just knew there was something not quite right. I talked myself out of it, and lo and behold, my gut instinct was right all along. But we do it over and over again because we're really only taught how to think. We're very discouraged from tuning in, listening to our body, and really trusting and acting on that gut instinct, which is usually very, very accurate. And it will have a response for a good reason. Sometimes it can be difficult to know actually what's a triggered response to something and what's just a really honest, authentic gut reaction to something. But the more we work with our body, the more we can understand what is actually going on. And when we look back and unpack what it was like for us growing up, what belief systems we've formed or attachment styles that we've had to develop, then it can start to really make sense of what's going on for us today and what some of those potential triggers might be. Unmet needs. Growing up in a very volatile household can give you a clue as to why your body's having such a response, but it's still having a response for a good reason. And we override it way too often. So the things that we tell ourselves, we're being silly, we're oversensitive, we're very negative, or, well, what would we know? Other people always know best. It's because that's the message that we've been given, maybe indirectly or directly, and we believe it. We believe that that is actually us, and it can be very, very difficult to actually have a sense of, well, who are we? And to be able to be aware of how much of the way that we do things, the things that we think about things, are actually part of the programming that we were given over and over and over again. So it really seems like us. We're not taught, even in schools, we're not taught to think critically. We're taught how to learn information, retain it, regurgitate it. We're not taught to question anything. We have to take the things that we're given and have those as a fact and believe them. The same with the lessons that we're given in life. When we're little, we believe them. And if they're negative, well then that becomes us. And it can be very difficult to separate ourselves from our layers and layers of programming. We're very adaptable and we'll adapt to any circumstance, but is that really us? And some of the things that we're taught, they're great. How to be tolerant, how to be understanding, how to be kind and considerate to others. Treat others the way that you want to be treated yourself. Often when people are reacting to us, if they have a very strong reaction to us, it can be because of their stuff, but we won't know that. If parents, teachers, bosses, therapists, if they don't like our response to something, then it's way too easy to be told that we're wrong. And if we have a narcissistic parent, boy oh boy, they will change a reality into a completely different situation. They can just turn things on the head, and it really distorts our sense of ourselves and our sense of these interactions that are actually happening. And it's very easy for things to be turned on us. We are the problem. But we might be very unaware of what's going on for that other person. And so it gets a real muddled, kind of enmeshed sense of our stuff, their stuff, and it can be quite difficult to untangle it. Often, if we're going to start critical thinking, then we have to begin with ourselves. And, sometimes it helps to identify these kind of scripts, the narrative that we have in our head. When we hear ourselves berating ourselves, write down those things, the things that we're calling ourselves, because the more we can do that, the easier it is to catch them when they come up. Because if it's just so natural, we'll almost not notice that we're doing it. And we have to start making the unconscious and the really kind of second nature a lot more conscious, so that every time one of those things come up, we can go, is that really true? Is that 100% true? And do I want that to be my narrative? Do I want that to be the script that I have, or the belief that I have about myself? Because there's a very good chance it's been given to us by someone else. And, we can begin to start unpacking these things. What would I prefer? What would a preferred response to something be? What would a preferred narrative in my head be? If it's, oh, I'm always so stupid, and could it be, well, sometimes it takes me a while to work things out. That's okay. Or I do things at my own speed. I don't work at the same speed as everybody else, but that's okay. And it's very important if we're going to make changes, or we want to grow, we want to unpack a lot of this stuff, be almost unburdened by the things that have happened that we're still dragging through everyday life. If we just want to make some changes, to feel more like ourselves, to understand who we really are, what our response is, and to not have such a negative reaction to things, then the first thing we have to do is a missing piece from the past. Validate what's going on. Be kind and be understanding about why we have that thought, why we have that reaction to something. Because a lot of our wounding has come from being not validated, by always told that we're wrong. Whenever we have a reaction, we're told what the rules are of how to behave, how to be, and how to think. It can be quite difficult to unpack all these things, but we have to be able to start with ourselves. Write down these things that come up, recognize them when they come up, validate, yep, I know why that comes up. Oh, that's so-and-so again, speaking to me. That's my negative part of myself that always makes me feel less than, not valued, not worthy. And put something after it, saying, okay, yeah, that always comes up. There I am again. Put something else after it. It's not my fault. Or I don't want to be so hard on myself. Or, just a bit of understanding whose voice that is sometimes. Who does that sound like? What would I choose? What are the things that are really important to me? How do I want to be able to talk to myself? Because often the way that we view and talk about ourselves is very different to the way that we view and talk about and to other people. We can undo some of the parenting that we've been given, or the negative messages we've been given, by consciously doing it. But what we do for ourselves is often unconscious. We're unaware that we're doing it. So the more we can make these things conscious, and we can begin that process by consciously being aware of what's going on in our body. What's my breathing like right now? What's my body communicating to me? Validating everything that you feel. It's not a problem with it. Everything's there for a reason. And just being aware of what's going on in our body right now and going, yeah, that's the way it is right now. No, there's nothing wrong with my breathing. I'm breathing just fine. Things can only really change from a place of acceptance. Accepting what's going on in the moment, not viewing it as a problem, and just be aware of what happens when we sit with it. Just be aware. Not any expectations of what it should be, just allowing it to be however it is. The key to almost all of these things is curiosity. Being curious, not judging, being accepting, validating, when we can start to begin that process, all of these things become a lot easier. We don't just blindly believe everything that we're told. We're not just blindly going along following rules that actually we didn't write, they don't serve us, and we'd like them to be different. Making different choices for ourselves. So if this resonates with you and it helps, then hit the subscribe button and join us every week for more body-based healing. Because real healing doesn't start in the mind, it starts in the body.